But then I noticed that my body was getting very tired. And then I was not showing up with good performance on each training.
Hmm.
So I tested training twice a day and drilling one time per day. But then I noticed that I was not the biggest fan of drilling and I was not enjoying doing that. Then I tested doing judo, I tested doing wrestling, I tested doing physical conditioning. So I was constantly testing stuff and to see like what was the thing that worked the best to me. And the tournaments for me was my test, like, wait a second, this year I'm doing judo, how was my performance? This year I'm doing wrestling, how is my performance? This year, so I was always like testing in the training
Yeah.
and watching the results in the tournament. Like that's kind of like a and again coincidence like with business and this and that on the website. A lot of work of the website is what they call the A/B test. So you create one version A, version B, you drive traffic and you see which version wins, and then you maintain that version. Then you create another. It's fun to see like that there is a lot of similarities of being a professional athlete and business, and there are a lot of things that are very different as well. So
And do you think like that because you married into the Gracie family? Do you think that's kind of like the extra pressure to become a jiu-jitsu legend that your wife's a member of such an elite family? Do you ever think and go, "Oh, I better be able to beat her relatives"? Do you have roles at Christmas time and that sort of thing?
no, not really, because I met her in 2013, and back then I was already like 3 times black belt world champion. So that didn't interfere at all, and I also wouldn't feel pressure because all the Gracie family members, they were always super nice to me since day
Mm.
one, and I was not the one who had the last name Gracie, right? So I never had that pressure, like, I think like whoever is born in the family and do jujitsu, and if you don't have a strong mindset, I think that can happen, right? Because everybody's expecting that you
Yeah.
have to win, because and nobody has to win. Like nobody winning is hard, like, and it's not because you were born in this or that family that you will win. But anyways, they were always super nice to me, and I was always very nice to them. But I never carried any pressure because that, even though I met my wife much later than
I mean,
them.
I'm a big fan of like BJJ Fanatics. It's a phenomenal site. You've changed so many lives in that. But I love how it sort of links back to what you said earlier about going and finding the right people. And when you and Michael met at a seminar, you were trying to find the right information and you were traveling around the world. Is that story true that you created it because you couldn't find a natural source for jujitsu growth and evolution of skills?
That's pretty much the right story, but just a little bit different. So what happened was my business partner Michael, he reached out to me to make a DVD